Welcome to eclipse season. This is really amped up energy. They're kind of like cosmic mood rings. Eclipse cycles sync up with our crossroads in life. They bring sudden turns and they signify necessary and unplanned changes. The degree to which you notice an eclipse depends on what's being triggered in your chart. So stay tuned for your individual horoscopes where I'll show you what part of your natal chart is being activated with this eclipse. So we have a super full moon eclipse happening in the sign of Sagittarius on May 26th. So this is a full moon in Sagittarius with the sun opposite in Gemini. Sagittarius rules the 9th house of the zodiac and Gemini rules the 3rd house. This together is the axis of the mind. This is where our awareness grows, the power in our beliefs. It's where we discover truth. So this is our logic. Gemini rules logic. Gemini is like the toddler in the zodiac that walks around and touches everything in order to understand its world. It puts its fingers on everything. It touches everything. It picks it up. It puts it in its mouth. So it's just going to walk around and collect everything and touch everything in order to understand where it fits in its world. And then Sagittarius is where we go out and explore. We take all of our knowledge, all that we know in our mind, and use it out in the world. This is our experience. So it's logic versus experience. A full moon is always a time to release something. And again, eclipses bring change, sudden unexpected changes. When it is a lunar eclipse, it's happening at night. And so the earth is getting in between the moon and the sun. There's a shift in the light, and when the light shifts, we feel it energetically. Think of it like a reset. You know, this is a reset moment here, like when your computer glitches and you got to turn it off and turn it back on again to quickly reset. That's what a lunar eclipse is like. So they represent where we've come from, the past, and all of our past experiences, and where we're going to find happiness and fulfillment and development and growth. It's really important to mark these eclipse moments in time because these are energetic patterns in the cosmos that last for like 2 years. The axis of the zodiac between Gemini and Sagittarius has been hosting these eclipses almost a year. It will continue through the end of this year and end in January 2022. We've gotten a feel for, personally and collectively, what we believe. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the sign that expands everything that it touches. So it's going to expand your mind here, and this is why it is considered like this point in the zodiac where our third eye opens up. Now with the North Node here in Gemini, we're being asked to get grounded here and come back down to earth and come back down to more practical understanding and look at truth from what's in front of our eyes instead of what we believe may or may not be based on higher powers that are dictating what we should or shouldn't believe. Gemini, again, is what you know to be true based on what you glean from the universe every day through what you can touch, read, see, what's in front of your face. This super full moon eclipse happening in Sagittarius, the theme of it is really to let go of what we know, to make room for wisdom to come through, but also in doing so to release our expectations and trust that there are higher powers at work. This is where we begin to trust in the divine and to not overthink things. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. This is the house of communication again. Mercury rules this zone. Mercury rules our mind. It's all of our mental activity. And just after this eclipse, like within days, it goes retrograde. So we're already in the shadow of and feeling all of this retrograde energy, which just makes us slow down and really rethink everything. We don't have to overthink anything, but it gives us kind of a time to review and go over what we know, go over facts, which live down here in Gemini, do our research, find information, and then compare it to what we believe and what we're being given by the information that we're being given to by institutions like the government, religion, higher education, higher authorities. This is all up here in the 9th house. The 3rd house is where we discern our own information. So when we talk about this being the access of truth and awareness, and having an eclipse come in here and shift the energy, the moon is up here, the sun is down here, and the earth is getting in between, in the middle, to reset our perceptions so that we can shift and change and grow. A lunar eclipse is a conclusion. It's a time of, this says, conclusions are within reach. This is what a full moon eclipse brings. Sagittarius is where our plans and our aspirations for the future can suddenly change because of this eclipse. It's also being triggered by Pluto, Uranus, Saturn. They're still squaring each other. Uranus is the future, inventive, new ways of thinking and doing things. Saturn is the old guard. Saturn is institutions that all live up here, and the old ways of thinking. So we are being triggered here by this south node. We can't let the old ways in our past hold us back from moving forward in the future. We also have Jupiter, who naturally rules Sagittarius. Jupiter is the planet, again, that brings expansion and growth to us. It magnifies anything that it touches. So there's a lot of emphatic energy around our beliefs here. So this is where dogmatism and all of that stuff lives, because Jupiter's like, hey, whoa, let's just blow it up and make it bigger than what it really is. Jupiter is together with Neptune, which is often referred to as the planet of confusion, but really, Neptune brings about confusion and illusion in order to show you what's real. In the bigger picture of things, which is what Sagittarius is really wanting us to get to, the moon is asking us to reset here and figure out what our beliefs are, what perceptions are we shifting and changing based on information that we're gathering, and what are those changes shifting us towards? What expectations can we release in order to trust our own inner wisdom? So for your own personal horoscope, you're being triggered by this super full moon eclipse in Sagittarius in your 9th house. So you're going to want to look back to the new moon eclipse in Sagittarius that happened in December. It was December 14th, 2020. That's when this part of your chart was being activated. Where did those turnabouts then lead you to now? And what needs to change in your area of higher thinking and higher perceptions and experience so that you can really be feeling free? The 9th house is about freedom. Freedom of thought, freedom to act, freedom to move. This is our point in the zodiac where we open and expand our mind and we broaden our experiences. We head out into the world. It's the place of travel. So what has shown up for you in the last 6 months during this eclipse season? Again, remember, eclipse seasons bring unexpected changes. The light shifts in order for you to be redirected and grow. I think I explained it in the prior eclipse videos as switchbacks. Like when you're hiking a mountain, you're going up the mountain, but every time the eclipse happens, you're hitting a switchback and you're taking a shift and a turn, and it seems like you're going off path. Meanwhile, you're still climbing up. So think about what's happened for you since December. And, you know, what part of your chart here has been affected since then? Have there been changes in your education, your perceptions and your beliefs, what you know to be true? Have any of your travel plans brought about a new or revived sense of energy and freedom for you? Have you learned something new that's made you feel free? Have you decided to point yourself in a different direction to find freedom? This is the point in the chart where we want freedom and expansion. This really amps up your vitality and your spiritual energy as well, because it's being impacted by the planets Jupiter and Neptune. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and it's together with the planet of Neptune in Pisces right now. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and Jupiter's just expanding this energy right now. All of this heightened and amped up energy to really bring us to new levels of faith and understanding. This is the axis of awareness and beliefs and truth, and Jupiter wants to just make it bigger. Like, it wants you to understand without being emphatic or buying things that don't have validity to them. So it's interesting because this is the point in the zodiac that is ruled by our mind, and it's the point in the chart where we want to be validated. And this is the point in the chart where we are supposed to trust in spirit, where we realize we don't need other people to validate us. We don't need anyone to validate us because we are connected to something higher. The theme of this eclipse is really asking you to let go of what you think you may know in order for your wisdom to flow through you. It's really asking you to tap into your own inner wisdom and release expectations that you may have, and learn to trust in the divine without overthinking. So Aries, keep track of what shows up for you. We're going to have another eclipse in a couple weeks here, and then this whole cycle will power out in January. So pay attention to what's going on here and follow this theme. Thanks for tuning in, Aries.